Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In the world of YouTube, you get some interesting emails coming your way once you add your email to your YouTube channel info. And honestly, most of the time, it seems like cheap things that people want you to promote. And I do keep an eye on the inbox though, because every once in a while you do get the opportunity to work with a cool brand, that being in the world of cycling or running. Today, we're going to be talking about some Knog products. Knog has been a bike brand that primarily started with lights back in the day when I started commuting by bike in 2010. I looked up to the brand. The brand has always been a really good brand and offering good products. I owned a lot of their lights when I was riding fixed gear back in the day. And yeah, they reached out and wanted to send me what I thought was one front bike light, but yeah, it's a little bit more than that, so I thought it was worthy of its own little video. I'm going to talk about the products a little bit now and then throw them on the Kona Rove back there and test them out in tomorrow's commute into work. So we got 4 products from Knog here. I'll talk a little bit about them. This isn't a review. I'm trying to steer clear of reviews unless it's for products that I kind of seek out and really intend to review, and I think that a review of the product will be beneficial to the audience that watches these videos. Although I will talk about them, briefly in tomorrow's commute and what I think about the product. So it'll be like a mini review on the ride tomorrow. So we got 4 products. I'm going to get most of them out of the way here and just talk about them one by one. First, they sent out the Luxe bike bell, which is pretty sweet. I'm a big fan of the Spur Cycle bell. I think that one's super well made. And this one feels quality. It is a different style of bell because it is, I think, made to be mounted on a 31.8 millimeter bar. So it's made to be on top, more like a gravel bike bar. I'm excited to try this one out tomorrow because I've said it in videos in the past that every bike needs a bike bell. And unfortunately, I just have one bike bell on my bikes. Now I have 2. So I'll be able to keep this on the Kona Rove like permanently. Product number 2 is the Knog Scout. I didn't even know this product existed, to be honest, until I opened the package like an hour ago. This seems pretty interesting. It's a bike alarm and finder. So you attach it to your bottle cage mounts on your frame, wherever you want. That has the bottle cage mounts, the 2 standard bottle cage mounts on your frame. I think I'm gonna go with the bottle cage that's under the down tube of my frame. And yeah, it supposedly makes a really loud sound if someone moves your bike. I'm not entirely sure how it works because, again, I just found out about this product. But it's USB-C charging, and it has Find My, Apple Find My. So it's like most people are putting in Apple AirTags on their bikes that they really like. This will replace that AirTag and work with Apple Find My, so you have it on your, if you have an Apple device like an iPhone, so you'll have it on that Find My page or Find My app that the iPhones have. Pretty excited to try this one out. There is a couple ways that you can mount it. You can mount it stealth, so you can actually slip it under a bottle cage and then put the bottle cage over it. Or you can have, it has like this high-vis cover that's included if you want, like potential thief to actually see that there's something on your bike. I don't know entirely if a thief would actually know what that is because it is kind of an obscure little shape. But yeah, pretty cool. Next, we have the Knog Blinder R150, 150 lumen rear light. To be quite honest, I don't think this will replace my favorite tail light that I'm still using, which is the Garmin Varia, just because of the radar features. But it is good to have another rear light for several reasons. If you are going on a long ride, the Varia has died on me because I like to have my lights on throughout the day. It doesn't have to be nighttime for me to have the light on, especially something like the Varia that's your rear light. I can see potentially turning off the front light if you're in a place that doesn't have a ton of cars, and you can kind of see that, but you never know what's coming up behind you unless you have something like the Varia. So even just running a rear light without the radar is super important in my eyes, just so people can see you coming up behind you in case you don't hear or see them. And then this is the product that they reached out to send me. I thought I was only getting this bike light, but it is the Knog Blinder 1300 lumen front bike light. Seems awesome. It seems just like a heavy duty flashlight, to be honest. I do run my Magic Shine 3000 on most rides, but I will admit that that's a little bit overkill in terms of size and weight. So this looks about the same size lengthwise, but it is considerably thinner and not as chunky as that bike light. It does come with 2 mounting options, which I appreciate. Knog just giving you 2 mounting options and not expecting you to buy a certain mounting option. So it has the under mount, which is mounted through like a GoPro mount, and it has the traditional bar mount, which is, you know, a strap. The nice part about having 2 mounting options straight out of the box as well is that you can put the, like say the GoPro mount, I'm gonna mount that on my Kona Rove under my K-Edge mount because it has that GoPro mounting accessory. And then I'm gonna throw the bar mount actually on a different bike so I can quickly take this light and switch it from one bike to another. So beneficial there in that they send 2 mounts with the light. Man, every time I hop on this bike, I forget just how fun it is. I've been really using the Poseidon for commuting, but maybe I should start using this more. There is a reason why this is my favorite bike of all the bikes that I have or have had. So the only issue I had with all this stuff, well, there was a couple. The Knog R150 or 150R is charged by USB Type A, so it actually doesn't need a cable. You just plug it into a USB Type A port. The thing is, I don't have a ton of blocks that use that anymore because everything is going from USB Type C to USB Type C. So it's like perfect if you commute to work and your computer has a USB Type A port, because you can just put it in there for a bit, let it charge up. The other issue I was encountering was mounting the OI bike bell. As you can see, there's a cable here that would actually catch on the bell and the chime wouldn't ring as loud, so you just have to flip it, which actually works to have your hands up here. Instead of having to reach back here and trigger it, you can just, you know, if you're cruising with your hands up top. It got cold after work. It's colder than this morning was. I have had to use the bell a couple times, and I can say it does work. One of the nicest things about a bell, I think it just is easier to understand if you're someone who's walking or jogging on a trail and someone's passing you. When you hear a bell, you just kind of look back, get out of the way. When you are yelling, just like on your left, I feel like that startles people a lot more than a simple bell. So it's nice to have another bell, for sure. So we've kind of been testing the lights throughout the bell, but we haven't tested the Scout yet, the bike alarm. So I'm gonna pause up here and kind of walk you through its features and what it's intended to do. I haven't even tried it out, so we're gonna discover this thing together. Okay, so real quickly, gonna show you guys the Scout. Right here is mounted on the down tube. It is mounted with the security bolts, which you need a special tool to like undo those bolts, so you can't just like use an Allen wrench. You could just mount it with your Allen bolts that come on your frame or whatever, but the security bolts are probably safer to you know, avoid if your bike does get stolen. At least the thief or thieves, if it's a group of people, won't be able to just take that thing off and fling it somewhere. So I think that is what the security bolts are for, not so much to remove the device or steal the device, but more so to keep it on the bike as long as possible. So the scenario here is you go to like a grocery store or a gas station, stop, you know, you're on a long ride, you don't have a lock, so you just leave your bike outside. You open the app and then you go to armed. You'll hear, I don't know if you guys could hear that, but you can hear it arm and disarm. That's armed, disarmed. So if it's armed and then it senses movement, so like you're in the gas station, whatever, doing your shopping, and someone tries to snag your bike. I haven't tried this, so let's see how it goes. There's a beep that comes off before the alarm starts sounding. So you get a notification on your phone if there's movement detected, and there's obviously the alarm that goes off on the Scout itself to kind of alert the person who's taking it that, you know, it's being taken, and kind of cause a scene. So that's pretty sweet. You can arm the alarm just by, you don't even have to pull your phone out, you can just tap the button, so you don't have to like pull your phone out, open the app, all that. You can just tap the button. I think it's like 1 or 2 presses on the button on the side, and it'll arm it, and then you're good to go. It'll alarm you if your bike moves for any reason. So that's pretty sweet. So overall, really solid products. I wouldn't expect anything different from Knog. Thank you to Knog for sending these out. I'll leave links in the description to see the products if you would like to check them out yourself. They're not affiliate links, they just sent them out for me to try out. So I'll definitely be using them. Like I said earlier, that rear tail light probably won't replace my Varia, but it's always nice to have options or have spare lights on a long ride. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.